Data-Driven Design. By the way,
Thank you.
for those that don't know, Paul Hickey and his team at Data-Driven Design, they're a well-trusted agency and so much more inside this space, so it's nice to sit in your booth and have a moment to connect with you. So I'm here to serve and support the voice tech and AI community.
What's up? I'm QuHarrison Terry, and we are now live again at Project Voice. Today I've got Paul and Ian from ATTN.live.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Glad to be here.
So, what brings you to Chattanooga? That's where I like to start.
Yeah. Well, I was here last year. It was called the Alexa Conference. Now we are Project Voice, Data-Driven Design. By the way,
Thank you.
for those that don't know, Paul Hickey and his team at Data-Driven Design, they're a well-trusted agency and so much more inside this space, so it's nice to sit in your booth and have a moment to connect with you. So I'm here to serve and support the voice tech and AI community.
ATTN.live, you've been doing live streaming content for a while now.
Yes.
And one of the things that I'm super fascinated by with you is your ability to take an already emerging concept such as live streaming. This is something that really in the last decade or so has really kind of emerged and people started to really accept and has been something that's cultivated in our everyday lives.
Right.
When you take that concept and you apply it to something known as the world of voice,
Right.
you've built some incredible technology in that space. Tell me about that.
Yeah, a little background that's kind of interesting is I've been doing professional live streaming for like 20 years.
Wow.
So there was a time when Akamai came out,
Okay.
and we were running millions and millions of dollars of just live streaming fees through Akamai just to help our clients, universities and nonprofit organizations primarily. So we'd have these big nonprofits and they'd gather people in stadiums and they want the whole world to hear what's being said. Or you have universities and they have these big talks and they want the whole world to hear. So we were paying Akamai millions of dollars a year on streaming. I remember thinking at that time, it reminded me of when I sold my first website. I sold a website in 1997 for $316,000. So you reverse back 20 plus years, streaming web development was completely unattainable for people outside the global 2000, or it was just done bad for small businesses. Now you fast forward to today and we have a problem right now with live streaming. You're live streaming on one device for LinkedIn, you're live streaming on a different device to Facebook, you don't have a third and fourth device for Instagram and Twitter. And why do you live stream to LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube? Because that's where people are at. So there's not a great solution. There's some, Restream, IO, and EasyStream, and there's some softwares. And then you have to send the archive out to places like Spotify and Google Podcasts and iTunes, right? And these are things that people would come to you for.
Absolutely.
Like, hey, we need marketing done, we need branding done, how do we get live streams done right? How do you send archives out? One thing nobody's doing is live streaming to voice devices. So I think we're the only people in the world that can do it. Partially, I work out of Twitter's headquarters, I have a lot of relationships with the major brands, and so we've had some unfair advantages to be able to develop some of these things. And so we live stream this conference, we're live streaming to Amazon Alexa, we can live stream through the Microsoft Cortana skill, and of course Bixby has their capsules, Google their actions. So to answer your question, live streaming for me is easiest done with audio. Why? Because right now, I'm like, shoot man, I kind of look like a clown right now, but I'm being seen on video.
This is you.
Well, no, it's my mom. Act like a king, look like a clown. But if it was just audio, I wouldn't care what it looks like. You could grab anybody you want, and it doesn't matter. So I think audio is a big thing. It's easy to create content at scale. It's easy to consume content. And I think you still have to go where people are at, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. And it's important to start being where people are going, which I think are voice devices.
What keeps you up at night regarding everything voice related?
I don't stay up at night for anything. I have a mental health issue. Okay. It's called zero stress. I don't have a stress button. I never feel anxiety. Nothing keeps me up at night. But what am I concerned about? Like I'm trying to mitigate risk. It's just expectations. It's the reason why we don't do a big press release here. We're not doing some big press release like at CES. We live streamed the whole voice summit at CES through the voice devices. Nobody's ever done that before. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't do a press release because I don't want to give expectations where people go there, they want it, and then there's a bug, or it doesn't sound right, or something's wrong. I'm very mindful not to set expectations that we can't try and meet. And I'm also mindful that I talk about the future most of the time. So I'll talk about our product as it's going to be in 3 months or 3 years, and I have to be very careful I have to clarify, okay, the part that works right now is this part, and this is what we're adding on. So that, if something kept me up at night, it would be managing expectations, not putting unnecessary pressure on my team to try to meet some sort of standard that we can't meet yet, and just be sensitive to the people that are building.
For users who want to invoke the live stream on a device, how do they do that?
Super simple. Alexa, you open Alexa, open ATTN.live, and then it asks what channel you want to listen to. So you can listen to Ian Utile, one of our executives. We have a channel for Google Assistant, a channel for Samsung Bixby, one for Microsoft Cortana, one for Amazon Alexa. We have one for Project Voice, have a couple extra channels. So when people interact with our tech on a voice device, it's to listen. In the future, you will call up the device and you will create the content with your voice. You will never touch a device. So you'll say, Alexa, open the Data-Driven Design app.
Yep. Data-Driven Daily Tip.
That's right.
Paul wants to do one right now.
So, open Data-Driven Daily Tip. Now, we can run in the future, right? This could be 6 weeks or 6 months. It determines, there's different things we're trying to navigate. Our next big release is February 14th as an idea. So, Data-Driven Daily Tips. It'd be nice if you had an Alexa skill, a Samsung Bixby capsule, a Google Action, a Cortana skill, that were all data-driven tips that ran 24/7 of all the content you've created in the past with a scheduled interruption for 10 minutes every weekday. So the scenario we're trying to create is that for now you grab your phone, eventually you'll just talk to your device. You say, okay, I'm going live at 10 a.m. Eastern time, right? And so you run 24/7 content on a live stream that you interrupt specifically, right? Now we also want to run that for you on a special Facebook live stream, a YouTube live stream, a Twitter live stream. We can't yet automate Instagram. We don't have access to LinkedIn. Only the coolest of the cool people, like Q, has access to live stream on LinkedIn. So that's what it looks like. It looks like an ability for you to use one device, phone, tablet, computer today, soon, a voice device, to go live and interrupt your 24/7 schedule. So I'm trying to create a radio station for every single person, and that radio station should run on every major social site and every major voice device.
Okay, cool. You mentioned like thousands of people attending Project Voice. That gets me excited.
Yes.
Who is the average persona? Who's the average person that's coming this year?
Well, it's
or like maybe there's 2 or 3 different types of people that are coming.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the leaders of voice technology.
Okay.
That's who's here, and their employees.
Okay.
And the people that they told to show up.
Okay. All right.
So it's the leaders of voice tech and everybody that they influence enough to say, I need you at this event, you need to come. So that's who's here. These are the people that really are determining where they have the State of the Union, where are we at in voice tech, what are we going to accomplish this year, what are we accomplish this decade. A lot of my focus is the same as you with Inevitable Human, and you with Data-Driven Design, right? You report the present and the future, and in a sense create it by telling the story, and your team are creating it by actually manifesting the right tech applications for the time and being thoughtful about what type of changes you have to be prepared for in the future. So all of us are leaders in tech, some in developing as an agency, some in reporting, right, and some in creating their own software companies. Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thanks, Ian.
Yeah.
If you got any questions for Ian, let us know in the comments below, and Ian will get back to you.
Yeah, if I don't have the answer, I'll make one up.
Alrighty.
I'm good with that.
Thanks for tuning in. You can keep learning with us live at Project Voice by just hitting that subscribe, notification bell. Take care, y'all.